procrastinated long enough. It is finally time to install the part and vinyl wrap the car. Procrastinated because I don't really like to vinyl wrap, but it is the cheapest way to do a full color change. Did order this off of eBay for slightly under $300. Honestly, who knows how long this is gonna last or how easy this vinyl is gonna go on. But either way, they can't stay like this. The very first thing we're gonna do is install new fenders and a used hood. Just ignore all of this. This is daytime work. This is NTX Glow. A real quick plug, if you need headlights and taillights, I build them and sell them at ntxglow.com. Regular aftermarket taillights or completely handmade custom stuff. Plug and play OEM functions or full-blown RGB show mode craziness. It's all on there. The hood will definitely be easy to remove.
Editing Zach here, just foreshadowing it wasn't easy.
But these fenders, I have never taken them off before, so I am a little bit nervous about that. I don't know how far deep we have to go into the body to get these things to come off. So let's start with the easiest one, being the hood. This hood is really heavy, so this is actually gonna kind of suck doing it by myself, but that's okay. Let's get it done. That went about as well as expected. Glass, still fully intact. Somehow didn't scratch anything. Also, didn't lose any bolts. It looked bad, but it was fine. I don't know how to put the new one on though. I'm gonna try to prop it from the middle.
I think I had a stroke there. I'm not really sure what I'm trying to do with my hand in this. This whole video is a disaster.
Okay, I'm gonna try to prop it up from the middle and maybe that'll make it a little bit easier to bolt everything up. Also gonna use more tacks. It was sketchy, but we got there. It is on. Looks like trash. The main bright spot is that it was really cheap. Now we gotta figure out how to get these fenders off of here. I hate these things. These things are the worst. Old fender is off and is already on the curb. Don't mind all of the parts just being scattered back onto the car. I did need to work today. It took a really long time to get that fender off because of the bolts that are down here behind the side skirt. And I really didn't want to damage the side skirt. I watched a few how-tos just to make sure I was doing this right. And in every single video, people were warning that these clips right here would break super easy, and in every single video they did break. So I took really special care to not break them, and I salvaged them. They're all good. At least on that side. I do have to do this fender still. Once I take this fender off, I can then clean everything out, because this thing is catching all kinds of dirt. Probably why you run fender liners. Now, if it's not obvious already, I'm not a body shop guy, so I don't really know how to make the body lines exactly perfect, but I think they turned out pretty good, at least for me. Now this is the body line on the hood to the fender. It's all pretty even except for like right here at the very front. The rest of it is even except for all the way up here, the first ½ inch. So I don't know if I can just give it a slight tug to pull it out a little bit. That actually honestly seems to like it fixed it a little bit. And then this right here, this is kind of big, but it's even all the way down, and nothing freaks me out more than like a door and a fender scraping. And this right here looks about as even as it did before. But all three of the gaps are slightly different sizes, and I'm really not gonna worry about it. Hood and fenders are finally on. I did not notice this whenever I picked these up. Thankfully, I bought them like used, even though they were new in the box. The guy just had them sitting in a storage unit, so I'm sure they just got bumped in the storage unit, which kind of sucks, but oh well. Now, the cap over here is horrendous. So I think the whole hood needs to be shifted over because it's like really small over here, but massive over here. So hopefully we can get that sorted out. While we're trying to sort that out, we are going to start vinyl wrapping this thing. Before I do start wrapping it, this obviously needs to be cleaned up, and I would like to go ahead and just sand down some of these bad clear coat spots. I'm just gonna sand them smooth. I'm not gonna hit them with anything since we are gonna put the vinyl wrap right over it. The hood and fenders in place. Now we can go ahead and start sanding the hood down a little bit where the clear coat is peeling. I don't want to be able to see that through the vinyl, which on some of these vinyls you can. This is pretty cheap vinyl, so we'll most likely be able to see it if we don't sand it down. I have kind of already started because I wanted to just clean the hood. It was so covered in dust and dirt. So while I was rinsing it down, I just hit it with a little bit of sandpaper just to see how much we're gonna have to go. And we are still gonna have to do quite a bit. And unfortunately, there are some spots where it's so deep that I can't get all the way down in there, just, you know, natural rock chips. But there is still plenty of work to do with the clear coat, so we need to get started sanding all of this down. Once again, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just know that if I vinyl wrap over this, you're gonna be able to see it. So I'm just gonna sand it down with what I have in the shop. It's probably gonna be a bit too aggressive, but that's okay. Let's start with this. It's a used 220 grit, and we're just gonna go for it. I'm so ready to be at a point in my life where I can afford to repaint an entire car, but I'm not there yet. That right there is gonna be good enough for this. We've sanded everything smooth. There are no more lips in it besides like the rock chips here at the bottom that I'm not gonna sand all the way down to metal to get rid of. For the rest of the prep work, I do need to take some stuff off so we can start vinyl wrapping this. The bumper is off, but that was, to be honest, it wasn't really put back on. The bumper, we do need to take off the lip, the fog lights, the fog light bezels, and then we actually have to take off this old vinyl wrap. I'm really not looking forward to that. This vinyl has been on here for a very long time. You know, when the car just rots away, things get neglected, and it just sat out there. So this is probably gonna be quite the project getting all this off. And the next things that I'm going to take off are the door pieces. So the door trim right here, handles, and probably the mirror. Notice that the actual body trim here that runs along the whole length of the car is off. Those were like bent and bending up in the sun. So like 6 months, a year ago, I just took them off and tossed them because I could not get them to snap back down. I couldn't find clips for them, but I have some used ones headed this way right now. This door is taken apart. We got the mirror off and the handle off and the trim piece off. So we can actually put the vinyl wrap all on there and then it will be nice and tucked. Door handles are so annoying to take off. They have the button in them so you can unlock the car, which is great, but that means that there's a connector in here and you have to feed it up. It's super annoying. One more side to go. This side is all taken apart. Now we're going to clean off this dirt. I'm just gonna use a little bit of wax and tar remover to get that cleaned off and ready for vinyl. Look, this is a bit of vinyl from the first time I wrapped it. This paint under here has not been exposed since 2016. Even though the whole car is not super cleaned off yet, I mean, this is really gross. I really want to get at least one panel vinyl wrapped tonight. So I'm gonna do just this door panel. I've already wiped it all down, so I'm ready. So ready for this change. Let's do it. Okay, this vinyl is showing its price. It tore really easy. So we need another cut of it. I'm gonna be honest, boys, I don't know if this wrap is going to actually make it on the car. I have spent a good hour and a half on this door. And I can make it about halfway before things just completely fall apart. Now this is definitely mostly a skill issue, but I also feel like this is not the best vinyl. Because I have vinyl wrapped taillights before. And I mean, this is a crazy shape that these have. And I haven't really had any issues, and this right here is just giving me major issues. It doesn't pull back off. Like, I haven't fully tacked this down yet. I have not fully tacked this down yet, and it doesn't come back off like other vinyl wraps do. Typically, with a vinyl wrap, you can pull it back off before you actually set it down in place, before you tack it down. And this one is just not doing that. You can see it's not letting go. Typically you can pop it, have a whole thing come loose. So I think I'll give this door one more shot. This is probably the second or third sheet. If this last one doesn't work, we may have to come up with a different plan. We gotta take a pause because look at this little unit. I mean, he is teeny tiny, little tiny thing. New shop top. I do not know where we left off. Christmas crew. I've done a lot of work off camera to this, off camera to try and get this car moving along as quickly as I can, and it's really starting to come together. I actually really do like the color. It's always hard to tell online what the color actually is, but I think this is really cool. The main reason why I have not been filming is because I had people helping me, and not everyone wants to be on camera. Because we only have 1 week left. A week from today is the wedding, so I am trying to hustle to get this thing done. You can obviously tell that the body is mostly done. We have the roof left to do, but to do the roof, I need to remove the antenna, and we have the front and rear bumpers. To finish up, unfortunately, I did run out of vinyl yesterday. I was able to order some more, called the guy and had him shipping it quickly here. So that will be here in about 2 days. So for tonight, I'm going to put the doors back together and then start dropping the headliner so that I can get the antenna off. Well, that was so much work to get the vinyl wrap done. Thankfully, we did get the whole body done. Completely ignore this taillight, what's going on over here. That's gonna be in the next video. There's a lot to that right now. Able to finish the car last night / this morning. It is Friday. The wedding is on Sunday. So the body work, the body panels being replaced, done. The vinyl wrap, done. So excited to have that wrapped up and just out of my hair. Went ahead and put some replacement front tires on because the steering wheel shook so bad. They are used front tires, but they are on there and it's not shaking anymore. I need to get some shots of it during the day because it really does look amazing. This blue really pops. But for right now, I need to figure out this taillight situation.
In the day, you can really see how much the blue pops on this car now. And I really love the color. It's kind of like the grabber blue that you see on Mustangs. But I am definitely seeing the drawbacks of purchasing eBay vinyl. From the moment that I finished wrapping this thing, it has had issues actually staying on the car. I spent several days before the wedding making sure that all of it was gonna stay in place before we actually got there. Drove really easy on the way to the wedding as it was about an hour away. But on the way back, I did drive a little bit more spirited and the vinyl started peeling up in several places, mostly around the wheel wells and the side skirts. But it's also starting to bubble up in several weird spots like the front lip. But even after all of that, I still really love the color. I'm just a little sad that it doesn't look 100% because it is peeling up in several spots.